Hey everyone, it's Michael Greenwood. Yeah, just checking the correct mic is selected. The trusty Shure SM7B. Love this mic. Okay, yeah, so just diving into a topic that I get asked about. So I often talk about planning tomorrow today and actually coming up with three non-negotiable things that move the needle in the business, basically. So I wanted to unpack that a little bit and help you with, what to actually um, plan, for these three things that you do every day in your business. The what I'm talking about here can also work for if you've got a job, you've got a career, you're looking for a promotion, or you're looking to get a job. Just good life lessons really that I've picked up over the years. So the main thing is we don't want to go throughout our day and be there's this idea of being a busy fool and not actually getting much done and kind of being down in the weeds, just getting a bunch of operational tasks done, which can be um, it can be necessary for a business, but it's when you're growing a business and you're the entrepreneur and you're often looking to pass those things, delegate those things to other people. A lot of the stuff that is kind of below your pay grade now, so you need to focus on other things. You're the owner of the company. There's certain things that you, as the owner of the company, can do that only you can do, really. And then obviously, at another stage in your business, you may hand that over to somebody else and just actually own the business, which is the dream for a lot of people. Right, so these three things. This is more like a way of a method of coming up with these three things rather than like particular examples. But I will come up with some examples as well in this video, things that can move the needle in your business. So, right, what we're talking about is writing down three non-negotiables that you need to get done. So the thing is, the whole thing about non-negotiables is the non-negotiable. You need to actually get them done, or there needs to be a really good excuse for you not getting them done. And if the non-negotiables and you've got to get them done that day, if you don't get, say, one of them done, one out of the three done that day, you better get it done next day because the reason why it's non-negotiable is it's a priority. And how do you prioritize things? Based on the impact and results that they're going to have in your business. And the number one thing in the business is to add value and make a profit, to make money. Anybody who says that the in business not to make money, it's just usually not true. So you've got top three priorities. These are what we call needle movers in business. So what actions are you going to do? So you're planning tomorrow today. Let's say I'm filming this on a Tuesday, and so I'm going to be planning Wednesday. I'm going to be planning tomorrow later today. So I'm going to be thinking, right, what actions tomorrow will have the biggest impact on business growth, revenue, profits, progress towards key goals, your big goals, your goals in the future. So what do I need to do tomorrow that's going to be a needle mover? What's going to move the needle, right? So I'm going to focus things on like money making activities. Who's towards the right in the pipeline? Who's near closing? I'm going to focus on those rather than cold leads, rather than going and trying to get cold leads. I'm going to actually focus most of the effort, for example, on the ones who are near closing, because that's the best chance of getting some money, basically. So I'm going to focus on money making activities. I'm also going to focus on high leverage tasks. So the first thing that I need to make sure is that my team have got something to do before even I start doing my tasks. So one of my key tasks is to make sure that my team have got something to do. So I'm leveraging other people's time because then when they're working on things, I've got extra pairs of hands working on things in the business rather than me working on something and they're sitting waiting for something to do, or even having to ask me that, tell me that I've run out of work to do. That's really bad. And it's me as a leader, a manager, that wouldn't be a good thing. So it's high leverage tasks, not just what's urgent. And there's different levels of urgency. So just because a client says that something is urgent, is it urgent? So actually, There needs to be a litmus test on that. I'm not going to go into that too much in this video, but there's things that are important in your business that you need to get done. So, for example, I'll give you some examples. So, launching an ads campaign, service delivery. Yeah, so we're launching an ads campaign. It's at that point in the onboarding we need to launch. Yeah, finalizing a pitch. Preparing for something. Something that's imminent, something that's going to generate revenue, get clients results, solving a client issue. So a client has had to come to us with a problem. How embarrassing is that? We should be coming to them, letting them know that we're already on top of it, and we should be communicating that rather than a client coming to us with. So that's such a priority because we should have actually nipped that in the bud. We should have known about that and then be communicating with the client. Oh, look, we've already caught this. We know what this is. But if they've noticed something, we're not even aware of it. That's really bad. So that's definitely going to be priority. So things like your firefighting. So solving a client issue, they're very important. It could be any number of things that, or making an hiring decision. Let's say you've hit capacity, or you're going to hit capacity, or you're going to have to switch off the ads if you're not going to get a new member of staff, to help out more with the service delivery. Things like that are what we need to focus on in the business. A top tip for this is if everything feels like a priority, then nothing really is. So limit it to three things. So what are your three priorities in the business right now? What is going to stop production? What is going to stop fulfillment? What is going to stop the service delivery? What is going to stop the marketing? I mean, I often hear about businesses switching off marketing when because they can't hire people, they can't find the right people. Is that a limiting belief? So it's a constant balance between marketing, sales, service delivery. Have you got enough leads coming through the pipeline who have been nurtured for somebody to close, basically? And have you got enough work for your team to be doing on the service delivery side of it? Are you getting results that you can leverage through video testimonials, case studies, which will assist your marketing? It all works hand in hand. So you've got to identify three priorities. That's the first thing that you need to do when you're planning tomorrow today. What are the three priorities that I'm going to work on tomorrow? So next thing is time blocks in your calendar. Once you've got some clarity on what your three things are that you need to work on, get some time blocks in your calendar. I like to work with 90-minute time blocks. So 90 minutes. So the thing is, schedule your most important work first thing in the day, right? And then everything else is gravy. So that's when your energy is usually your highest. Some people prefer the night owls, prefer to work at night. But I'm finding these days that my energy is best in the morning to work on things where I need a lot of decision making power in the brain, a lot of that cognitive energy going towards really important decisions. And then you can include time buffers for meetings, travel time, admin breaks and stuff like that. But 90-minute work blocks of deep work, and have a few of those a day. If you can fit in 4 or 5, amazing. If you can fit in 2 or 3, that's great. If you can, do you know what? When I used to work a job, a lot of people around me, they were just basically working for 2 hours a day and making it spin out for 8 hours or 7 hours or whatever. And they were literally just there, spacing work out, like 2 hours worth of work for 8 hours and stuff like that in some of the jobs I've done. So yeah, the key takeaway from this, the big tip is protect your deep work time. So no phone, no distractions, no social media, no doom scrolling. Treat it like a client meeting that you can't cancel. You wouldn't answer your phone while you're in with a client, would you? Or you won't be scrolling in your social media while you're in an important meeting with one of your top clients, would you? So that's the second thing. Time blocks in your calendar, really, really important. Third thing is one thing that you can do an SOP about, improve, systemize, build a system around. One thing that you can take off your plate and pass to somebody else to leverage other people's time. So ask yourself, what are your recurring tasks? I've got a method of eliminate, automate, delegate. So time audit everything that you're doing. everything that everybody's doing in your business, right? Time audit, how long are things taking? What are you working on? What are you working on the most, right? How many people does it take to make that money that's coming into the business? That's a KPI in the business, basically. So any recurring tasks, processes, bottlenecks, any pain points, anything that you can improve even slightly, anything that you can improve by 1%, anything like that. Is anything that you can improve that you're doing again and again that has a cumulative effect to adding up to big inefficiencies? Because you don't want to scale up those inefficiencies. So the rule is, the rule that I follow is everything needs to be documented, how you do things. But we don't want to document things if it's a waste of time in the business. So if nobody should be doing it in the business. So look at everything, eliminate. Should I be doing that? Should anybody be doing that in the business? If not, eliminate it, get rid of it, right? If it can't be eliminated, then automate it. Is there some AI? Is there a Zap? Is there some Zapier that you can set up? Is there some marketing automation in your CRM? Like HubSpot, iLevel, Monday.com? Is there something that you can leverage to automate something so you can spend 1 hour setting it up, and then it can perpetually just keep working, and just keep doing that thing. So you spent 1 hour, what one distraction free deep work hour working on that thing, and then you can just basically that's all gravy from there. What a lot of people do is, because they might enjoy doing tasks in the business, they'll do the same thing again and again, and then they won't always look introspectively and do some reflective practice on why they're doing it. And if they're asked why they're doing it, why are you doing that way? It's like, well, we've always done it that way. Yeah. So this is all about systems and processes and standard operating procedures. Everything needs to be consistent in the business, consistent marketing, understanding, that little nuance with that script. If we tweak that, what'll happen with A/B testing things, with multivariate testing? But it's the same in your service delivery as well. We want repeatable results, like McDonald's. The flip the chicken nugget one side, flip the chicken nugget the other side. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've never worked at McDonald's, but it's a well-run, well-oiled machine with SOPs. Basically, it's got repeatable results in every McDonald's. There might be variances, there might be inconsistencies, but it pretty much, you go to a McDonald's in one part of the country and you go to another part of the country, you know what you're getting, don't you? So any recurring tasks, like I said, processes, look for any gaps, bottlenecks, anything that you're doing again and again. And should you be doing it in the first place? If not, eliminate it. If you can't eliminate it, automate it. And then if you can't automate it, because automating is cheaper than delegating, then pass it on to a team member. Take it off your plate so you can work on other areas of the business and growing the business, as in you design something, you work on it, and then you pass it over to somebody else and you get them to do it. And then you're clearing your plate so you can get some more stuff into it, really. So that is picking one thing a day to improve, systemize, or to work on that, right? What I'm not a big believer in on business is getting into something quite deep for lengthy periods of time. I need to get into it, then come out of it, so I can still have that top level view, so I can still wear multiple hats every day. So it's really important for me that rather than get stuck in the weeds in one particular thing, or drilling down too deep into things. So as I've unpacked my kind of approach to business over time, this is how I've kind of worked best. So you can find a way that you can work best as well, by using methods like I describe. So you could, if you can automate a manual task, it's a win. If you can tighten up your client onboarding, make it so it's more systemized, that's a win. If you can do, for example, we run Google Ads. I've got SOPs for setting up Tag Manager, SOPs for setting up Google Analytics, the followable steps that I can give a team member to do, and they can follow them. So I don't need to do those steps, setting up this campaign, doing this, doing that. Client asked this, right? How many clients have asked this same question? That's an FAQ. Can we create a video on that? And then we can just send that, rather than having to jump on a call with them and spending 10 minutes of somebody's time. Can we put that into a video? So things like that, basically. Systemize absolutely everything. So automating a task, client onboarding is a big one that I've been working on. That was fresh to the top of my mind. Delegating a repetitive job, basically, but don't delegate it if you can automate it, and don't automate it if you should eliminate it. So think about it that kind of way, like really critically. Um, just remember that incremental improvements compound and create freedom in your business so you and your team can work on other things. So the top tip and takeaway from this one, the top tip is constantly thinking about iterative improvements, continuous improvements in your business, constantly upgrading your systems, and this keeps your business so it's scalable, and keeps you sane as well. So there's this idea of operational intensity where you've got so many moving parts in your business, and if you can eliminate some moving parts, it makes it simpler for everywhere. So it makes it so you've got fewer variables, less to go wrong, fewer risks to mitigate against. When your staff training becomes simpler, so they've got less to take on board. That it's quicker. They can internalize the knowledge quicker as well. So it's just fewer things going on and less waste and a leaner way of working, basically. So yeah, I hope this has been useful. Just to reiterate, then, so this video has been how you actually come up with the 3 non-negotiable things that you're going to do today, how you work on the business rather than in the business. A lot of people in videos, they talk about, oh, work on the business, but do they actually know what they're talking about? Do they break it down like this? So this has been a method of how to approach that planning tomorrow today, because a lot of people in business, they'll just create another job for themselves, and they'll just keep doing that job. And they'll probably be paid very similar to what they were paid in the job. Just they'll have peaks and troughs as well. So they'll get really busy with the service delivery. They'll never hire people to do kind of lower leverage, lower income producing tasks that somebody else could be doing, that the CEO doesn't need to be doing, that the owner doesn't need to be doing. And then they'll get really busy with stuck down in the weeds with the service delivery. But my method of growing a business, and from what I've seen, businesses who try to outsource or get somebody else, hire somebody first to do the marketing and sales, they don't tend to do as well from what I've seen. There might be exceptions, but we're talking about the rule itself, not the exceptions. But I found that agencies, businesses that do well, they get people to do the service delivery first, and then the CEO holds on to the marketing and sales as long as possible until they get a team around them for that as well. But it's the service delivery which needs a lot of the work. Having said that, initially, I'm all for selling something where you don't even have service delivery in place. I'm here for initially just getting market research in. Is there a market for this thing, rather than building a product or building a system straight away? I think that's a big mistake. So, oh yeah, I want to start a business, right? I've got 10K, we'll put it into a website and a logo and branding, and we'll do this, we'll get business cards done, but they've got no market. And then they find out that they've got no market for the business. But as you get bigger, got to get that service delivery down for a T, so you're getting results for clients. It's so important to get results for clients. It's absolute essential in the business. So yeah, top 3 things to think about. You've got actually coming up with your top priorities, and then even one priority to work on in that day, which tops the other 2, and then actually time blocking it out in your calendar. And then one of those 3 things wants to be something to improve or systemize. If you find that you're biasing in your business towards, yeah, I'll just do marketing today, and then you've done marketing for 5 days, what's been happening with systemizing your business? When you actually come to onboarding, have you got a nice tight process with onboarding? Are you up to date with your service delivery? Look, if you've got some clients, your service delivery needs to be top. But you can't be doing your service delivery 5 days a week, or you'll stop doing your marketing. That's how you get ebbs and flows. That's how you get peaks and troughs. That's how you get business failure. That's how you become a busy fool as well. If you're not optimizing your business, you're doing the same thing and again, expecting different results. That's what Albert Einstein said was the definition of insanity. So just check yourself with that as well. A business is really when you can distill it down to three departments. There's more departments than that, but you've got marketing, sales, service delivery, and you want to get a nice balance, a nice synergy. So there's lots of ways of running a business. This is my take on it. So I hope you found something interesting about this. Obviously, the world is such a rich tapestry of different approaches and different ways of doing things. So I hope you got some value out of this. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time.